Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Miriam. I am a medium to people, pets, and the paranormal. Every Monday we do a general pick a card reading. Every Tuesday we do a specific pick a card question. Every Wednesday we talk to our power animals, and every Thursday is a zodiac sign specific pick a card, and Fridays are our channeled message. My job is to bring you the intuitive guidance that you need to better help navigate your day, your life, your week. And your job is to find your own daily practice. So one day you don't need me. You can utilize your own intuition to navigate your life. Make sure you subscribe so every day you know when a pick a card reading comes out. And let's get started with our general pick a card. Okay, let's get started. Let's see which deck we are going to use for our general pick a card reading today. Oh, I think we chose one already. Here we go. Card 1, card 2, card 3, card 1, card 2, card 3. Okay. Card 1, we've got love. Some of you feel like you have found some new love. You're feeling, some of you have found new love. You're in the beginnings of a new relationship. And some of you are daydreaming a little too much. Some of you are you're not putting what it is that you want to do into action. You're dreaming. And there's a time and a place for dreaming, which is important and good, but your emotional state is overwhelming and almost not allowing you to move forward with what it is that you want to do. And this is different. This isn't necessarily depression. This isn't necessarily bad. There's this heavy emotional daydreamy vibe that could be interpreted as lazy as well. That's just, you're not moving forward. You got your head in the clouds. I need you to get your head out of the clouds. You need you to get your head out of the clouds, right? It's time for you to start putting the work in, okay? It's time for you to put your ideas to paper, your dreams to paper, and make these things happen, okay? It's time to put the work in. You don't want to. You know you have to. This is also coming up as some of you are a little stagnant at work. You're not doing... It's not that you're not doing your job, but you're avoiding, you're procrastinating, you're putting work to the side because you don't want to deal with it. And you're being a little bit more emotional about it. I need you to do the work, okay? You guys, and I'm going to address those of you that I said are in this relationship or have just fallen into love or have found love. I'll address that in a minute. But there's kind of two sets of you guys in card 1. And one is this daydreamer, this one that needs to start doing the work. Because if you don't, this is all going to kind of unravel on you and weigh you down because you procrastinated. And then you're like, great, now what do I do? I got to work overtime. I got to fix this. You know what you're doing. Like, you know you're doing this. You know you aren't doing what you're supposed to be doing. You know that you're allowing yourself to procrastinate. You know you're allowing yourself to get sidetracked. You know you're allowing yourself to be very daydreamy. And this can actually sometimes be a little self-destructive, okay? And so you're being asked to step out of that. Put your words to paper, put your thoughts to paper, they keep saying, and then start the steps to do what it is you need to do. Even if what they're saying is simply, a list of to-do things, errands. It's almost like the simple aspects of your life you are pulling away from and not wanting to deal with. And typically that can typically that can cause us to look deeper and say, there's some deeper pain that you haven't dealt with. A lot of times when we procrastinate, when we daydream, when we put ourselves in positions to fail, because you're setting yourself up to fail, right? You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And that's going to force you to be put into an uncomfortable position, whether it's by your boss, or by friends or yourself, of going, I knew I was supposed to do it and I just never did it. And that is definitely a form of self-destructive behavior. And it's time for you to stop that. So if you're listening right now and this is a pattern for you, or you're shaking your head, yes, that I do this, it's coming up because not just for me to tell you you do this, but for you to stop, for you to find a way to stop. Now, stopping isn't necessarily easy because there's usually deep-rooted pain and emotions underneath all of this procrastination. So therapy, journaling, yoga, meditation, all the things you hear me say all the time are imperative to get to the bottom of why you procrastinate, of why you're daydreaming, of why you aren't doing what you're supposed to be doing, of why you feel more comfortable when you set yourself up for failure than when you set yourself up for success, okay? So some of you have just found love, and if you haven't, but that's heavy on your mind, you're about to, okay? And this is really pulling your head into the clouds and really distracting you from life and work and everything that's important, right? You're really got your head in the clouds. And honestly, for those of you that this applies to, just enjoy the time right now. Just enjoy it. So again, if you've just met someone and you're kind of in that new phase, just enjoy it. Just go for it, enjoy it. And for some of you who have just been hyper-focused on love, things are about to shift. You should be meeting someone very soon. Those of you that have found this new love, enjoy the time. Card two. Card two, you've got yourself wrapped up in something you shouldn't have gotten yourself wrapped up in. You got yourself involved in something that you shouldn't have been involved in. You're butting into something that's none of your business. It's like, you know, they're showing me like an ocean, and you've got, you know, the fish, and you've got boats, and you're supposed to share the space, right? But you're not. You're kind of getting up in the way of the boats, and you don't need to be. Sorry, that was a crazy kind of metaphor that they were showing me. You're involved in something that's none of your business. You're putting yourself into a situation that you shouldn't be in, and you got tangled up in this. You got tangled up in this situation, and you got to get out of it. What you got to do is pull yourself gently out of the situation, make amends, apologize for those that you have, you know, wronged, and start to back yourself up and out of that situation, okay? You may need to send out an olive branch to those that were involved, just kind of saying, I'm sorry, I got myself involved and maybe I shouldn't have been. Fix this, okay? Card two, fix this. This kind of mess that you've got yourself in, if you can pull yourself out with some integrity and gently remove yourself from the situation, apologize, everything's all will be forgiven, okay? It's not going to be, there won't be many grudges held. There's, you know, everyone will be able to laugh at it very soon. But a lot of that's going to be dependent on you being the one to say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have gotten involved. That's for you guys. I'll be over here if you need me. You should really actually be dealing with your own personal growth right now. You've got some of your own demons, if you will, that it's time for you to address and it's time for you to deal with. You have been spiraling a little bit, and which is part of why you are inserting yourself in situations that you shouldn't be in, because you're ignoring your own pain, your own quote unquote issues. And I say quote unquote because we all have them. But there's some issues that you need to be looking at and addressing, and you're not. And instead you're inserting yourself in other situations so that you don't have to deal with you. And all that's doing is making life more chaotic for you. So remove yourself from the situation, take some alone time, okay? Be alone. Don't be afraid of yourself. Don't be afraid of what it feels like to be alone. And don't be afraid of the ugly side of you, because we all have an ugly side. We all do things that we don't mean to do, or sometimes we do mean to do and then we regret. We all do it. And So be able to look at that side of you. That's really important for you, card 2 right now, is to be able to see that part of you that has caused some problems, possibly even hurt other people, and address it and forgive yourself for that. Forgive yourself for that and figure out how to not do it again. Figure out what you're going to do moving forward in your life so that you don't continue to make these same destructive mistakes, okay? You've been hiding behind something, okay? It's time to come out, stop hiding, stop inserting yourself in situations you shouldn't be in, and address you. Okay, so card 3 is all about harvest. It's all about now reaping the rewards of that which you've been working for and planting and planning. It's about, if you haven't seen these seeds come to fruition, they're going to, but know that they're going to, but you're going to have people, there's going to be a shift, okay? There's going to be a shift. So you have come to this place, okay? They're saying for some of you, whether it's a promotion or you've started your own business, there's a couple of things out there going on that have seen the results of these seeds that you've planted, okay? That there's going to be a change. There's going to be a change that's going to influence and affect the work that you've done. I'm asking you to not perceive this change as bad, and to not to perceive this change as bad, and to not anticipate it as bad. So what you are about to learn is that how we perceive what happens to us is going to determine our outcome, our success, our level of happiness. And I'm not saying something bad is coming. I'm saying that change is coming. And so you have decided to build something a certain way, and you want it to continue to look that way. And I'm saying that there's going to be a change that's going to ask you to shift the way you look at what you have created. And this is going to be for the good of all involved. And you are going to look back and say, I'm so glad that happened. I didn't know that at the time. So when you, in the next, it feels like a few days, maybe could be a full month, when these changes start happening, don't freak out and don't get stuck in your ways. Instead, say, okay, I remember I was told this was going to come, but ultimately this is going to benefit everybody. It doesn't mean that it won't be a little rough to start, but if you stay on that track, and I'm not saying give in, I'm not saying change the way you have completely created something. I'm saying see it differently. So if you built a business a certain way with a certain outcome intended, and now you're being asked to shift that, look at that shift and consider that shift. And maybe the shift isn't going to look the way it's being presented to you. Maybe you need to, change it up a little bit, and that's fine. But be open to what is coming so that it can serve all of you in a positive way.